Reagan, and today I'm here to bring you a book review of Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. Now this is the Peruse-topia book club pick of the month for the month of September, and this month we are working with Penguin Random House. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, so I was so excited to pick this up, and I have to say overall I was not disappointed. This review is going to be non-spoiler, and at first I'm just going to give a quick overview of my general thoughts, and then we'll dive a little deeper in. So Furthermore is a fantastical middle grade story, and it follows our main character Alice, who's just so spunky and wonderful, and she lives in a town called Farronwood, and this world is incredibly magical, incredibly vibrant and colorful, but she stands out because she doesn't have any color. And because of this, she has a lot of self-doubt, she feels ostracized in her town, and things along those lines. At the beginning of this novel, it is said that her father has gone missing, and this has been something that has deeply affected Alice, as she was incredibly close with her father. And also, there's something that happens in this town at the beginning of the novel where every 12-year-old kind of displays their magic and they get sent on a task, and she thinks this task is really going to turn her life around. However, some stuff kind of happens. She gets dragged on an entirely different adventure with a boy that she hates, and then they're off to this new world called Furthermore. Overall, this story was just so magical and just delightful. I guess that's just like the best way to describe it. It was just so lovely to read. Just like in a phrase, it was just so lovely. I am a deep lover of middle grade adventure, and this was just so fresh and so fun. I loved the vibrancy of the world, and I think that's probably one of the strongest elements. It was just so whimsical, and I also appreciated that there wasn't a lot of time spent like explaining why these weird things are happening. It was just stated as fact because, hey, that is just the world. Like, it's called sun showers and it's just how it is. Like, hello, duh, get with the program. That's kind of how the narrator would describe everything. It was just a lovely story following our two main characters, Alice and Oliver, and it was just so great. I kind of touched on this, but probably my favorite part of this story is just the world. I mentioned how whimsical it was. I just loved reading the adventure and just being able to experience our main characters finding these new crazy places. I just appreciate Tahereh Mafi's imagination because honestly, some of the things she thought up for this book were just so wonderfully bizarre that I just had to deeply appreciate. It was just so much fun. It was just so much fun to be in this world and to just kind of make your way through the new weird rules of society and also just existence in these worlds. It was just fascinating. Also, our main characters Alice and Oliver were just so great. At the beginning of the novel, they really hate each other, but they have to grow and learn to accept each other in ways that it's just like you just appreciate in middle grade. There's just a lot of friendship and a lot of love. Alice is such a character, and I just really enjoyed her. She's so spunky, she's rash, and she makes decisions without thinking, honestly, quite often, which is not great, but she works through a lot of her flaws, and she's just a hurt little girl, and she comes to terms with a lot of the struggles she's having, and she comes to terms with herself, and as you just kind of watch her grow up and become, more, happier and things like that. I just was really rooting for these characters throughout this story. It was just so nice. This is a lot of gushing, but this book was just so lovely, honestly. The storyline overall wasn't very complicated. It is a middle grade story, and that is something, in my opinion, to kind of be expected. Alice is on an adventure to save her father with a boy, Oliver, and they're coming through a lot of these obstacles, and they have to use their brain, their friendship, and their ingenuity to get through them. And it was just nice. I was always entertained. I flew through this story so quickly. I pretty much read the whole thing in a couple of days. It was just a nice read, okay? I would say the biggest flaws of the story, because I ultimately gave it 4 stars, is it ended a little abruptly. I know there's going to be another book just based on how it ended, but everything kind of wrapped up a little too conveniently, even for magic, and a little too quickly. I feel like the story could have benefited from another 50 or so pages of just working through the main conflict before it was resolved, and I think that was just the major flaws. The writing style was absolutely beautiful and descriptive and wonderful, as to be expected from Tahereh Mafi. I wasn't surprised. In fact, I was anticipating that, and I'm glad I wasn't disappointed. Another aspect of the story that I thought was well done is the narrator was really sassy. We were told the story of Alice and Oliver, and sometimes the narrator would take a step back to kind of give us a larger world view, and it was really interesting. The narrator to be like, hey reader, yeah I know this is weird, but let's just talk through it for a second. The narrator would break that fourth wall and talk directly to us as a reader, which I enjoy a lot, especially in fairy tale type stories. Overall, I thought this was a very strong introduction to a middle grade series. I thought it was delightful, I thought it was wonderful, I thought it was whimsical, I thought it was so much fun. And the story is just as vibrant as this cover, if not more so. It was just so sassy. It was honestly nice to see Tahereh Mafi write a character that is so different than the Shattery main character. She is such a force of nature and like is hard to deal with. She's like a tornado, this character, and I just loved her. Anyway, like I mentioned, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend it if you like middle grade or if you don't like middle grade. It's such a fun story. I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next installment. So, yeah, that's it all. I just kind of like word vomited out this review, but those are my feelings on it, alright? So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye!